Citizen Kaliovsky's carriage made its way slowly through the busy streets towards the Tuileries Palace. It was a warm night, the building still retaining the heat of the hot summer. Nothing had cooled down. Not the temperature, not the citizens, not the revolution, not the war. The gated city felt like a vast witch's cauldron, the flotsam and jetsam of its population slowly rising to the top, ready to boil over with frustration, hatred, and murder. The note that had been delivered to Kaliovsky at the theatre was from Citizen Danton, telling him of a meeting that he should attend if he wanted Sido de Villeduval's release papers signed. He sat cursing the fact that he was already late, angry with himself for having stayed so long at the theatre, and wondering why Tetu had brought back Anice's ghost. Damn it, tonight of all nights! He didn't need to think of her. He had sworn he would never think of her again. Kaliovsky thought angrily that Danton would not have the manners to wait for him. No, they would all have conveniently forgotten just how much he had helped by supplying the money to buy extra pikes and arms. It was all well and good, wanting the citizens of Paris to put an end to the traitors in their midst. But they needed weapons to be successful. Tonight's meeting would be the last chance for Danton, Marat, and their cronies to trawl through the prison registers and to make quite sure that no one important had been rounded up by mistake. For tomorrow, the killing would begin. Justice, for what little it was worth, would then be in the hands of the people. Sheep, the lot of them, led by Marat, a leader of the sheep who had ignited their imaginations with his clever words. Kaliovsky gave a thin smile as he thought, "O world, beware of clever sheep. They are the truly dangerous ones, for they understand the stupidity of the flock, know just how easy it is to lead the people to slaughter." At last the carriage stopped at the palace, and Kaliovsky made his way down the forsaken corridors. Portraits of solemn, stiff-looking men in powdered wigs still hung on the walls in their gilt frames. How horrified they would be if they knew what was being discussed behind closed doors tonight. Whom did he prefer? The bull-like orators and clever sheep, rich in words but not much else, or the king and the aristocracy, foolish, narcissistic people who could hardly babble out a sentence without tripping over their own protocol, but whose pockets were lined with gold, ready for the taking. Kaliovsky entered the large antechamber adjoining the room where the meeting was being held. The imposing double doors were firmly closed. He was surprised to find so many people waiting, a motley group who must all, like him, have paid handsomely for release papers to be stamped. He walked past all of them and knocked loudly on the main door. It was opened by a lizard of a man with hooded eyes. "I have a note from Citizen Danton summoning me here," said Kaliovsky. He was about to walk straight past, but the man put out a firm hand to stop him.
"Not so fast, citizen."
"Do you know who I am?" The lizard man studied him carefully.
"Well heeled?"
he said, closing the door hard, like a full stop. Kaliovsky did not take kindly to such treatment. After all he had done for this miserable crew, he had no intention of waiting. He knocked again, loudly. The same man opened the door. "I have come for the release papers for Sidonie de Villeduval. I was told that they would be ready by now."
"Then you have been misinformed, citizen. Look around you. You're going to have to wait like everyone else. You're no bleeding different. Equality, remember? That's what it's all about."
And once again the door was slammed shut. Kaliovsky was outraged. Such rudeness would not have been tolerated under the old regime. The man would have found himself in the Bastille for his impertinence. His well-constructed plan must not fail at this last important stage. As soon as he had Sido's release papers, he would go straight to the prison and have her freed, and then, without further delay, they would be married. He had even found himself a Catholic priest, one of the very few who was not languishing in prison to carry out the deed. He wasn't going to risk having a revolutionary wedding. He wanted the certificate to be above board, for then, and only then, would the considerable fortune finally be his. He might not have had the mother, but fate would have given him the daughter, and her inheritance. Revenge becomes all the sweeter, he thought, when it has been ripened by misfortune, and then served cold. Icy cold.